Okay, so it's time to conclude everything I've learned from these 30 days of trying to become a film nerd. So first and foremost, what I've learned is that you are not wrong for liking the films that you do. Just because your favourite film is not a technical masterpiece with a high rating on IMDb does not mean you are wrong for liking it. Everyone has their own tastes, their own opinions, so stick to your guns, really. To analyse a film, you need to say what you see and ask why. Every film is a work of art, and every person involved in this filmmaking process is making choices along the way. So ask why they are making these choices and what kind of meaning it has and the themes and symbolism it might show. So it's okay to not watch a film every day. It doesn't make you less of a fan or less of like a film buff or nerd if you don't watch a film every day. Not everyone has that time to do this. Obviously in this process I've been trying to watch a film every day, but there have been days that I haven't watched a film. And also if you pressure yourself to continuously like watch a film every day, you may like be taking away from the actual experience of watching a film, like because you're making it this challenge like I did. And I feel like I was at times just watching a film because I thought that I had to, instead of watching a film because I wanted to and I wanted to have this great experience. So I'd say don't kind of follow this model. I did this like as a 30-day challenge to kind of boost my knowledge, but it's not really very realistic of real life. So yes, just don't feel pressured. I've also learned that old movies are great. I have came away from this process absolutely like loving old movies, especially from like the golden era and black and white movies, like Audrey Hepburn movies. I really love them, and it's one of my favourite takeaways from this whole process is that now I have this passion for black and white movies. Before I would have probably been like, this is going to be so boring, I'm not going to be able to engage with it because it's old and it's black and white and it's confusing. But honestly, that is not the case, and don't be afraid to try movies from like all different like times because they are all great. And last of my kind of big takeaways from this is that my like short attention span, my Gen Z short attention span, whatever you kind of want to say, because I am a member of the Gen Z and people believe we all have short attention spans, and it definitely, I'm going to say this, that it didn't really affect me. Now, of course, at times I was definitely like getting bored, but I did power through, and I've watched movies that have been over 3 hours, 3.5 hours long, and I got through it, and I'm proud of it, and I feel like my attention span has actually increased through this process. I'm more kind of likely to watch movies that are like 2.5 hours than before. I was like, no, I don't really think I can commit to that. So yes, I don't think it really affected me. If anything, my attention span has increased. So I have some tips for people who may want to kind of become a film nerd or film buff, like I tried to. So first of all is watch lots of films, and a range of different films from different directors, genres, international films. Kind of really widen your horizons, and never be scared to try new things that are out of your comfort zone, because you will definitely learn from that. Second is watch films more than once if you want to get a better understanding of them, if you want to kind of analyse them, and yes, basically if you want to understand them better and know these films in more detail. The first time you should always just watch them to experience them and kind of go with the flow, and don't try to think too like analytically, or just be an audience member the first time. And if you want to then kind of analyse these films and break them down, watch it a second time, watch it a third time, and then make notes. Third is very important right now, is avoid distractions. I know a lot of us watch films and we watch them at home and we're like on our phone or we're doing this and that, but try and minimize distractions and avoid them if you can, especially if you go to the cinema. Phones off, obviously, but if you're at home, put your phone down and really just try and like immerse yourself in this film and experience it and be an audience member, not just be on your phone, because it will really, really increase your entertainment and your enjoyment when watching this film. Fourth is go to the cinema. It's really important to keep going to the cinema if you can. It's a really big part of being a fan of film, and yeah, it's a great experience. It's the best way to watch a film, no doubt. So go to your local cinema especially and support them and have fun. Collect physical media. It's very important. Obviously, it's not for everyone, but if you have a decent kind of sized physical media collection, I have quite a big one, but if you have your favourite films in DVD form or Blu-ray or 4K, whatever is in your budget or whatever, if you have that collection, it will mean that you have these titles forever and you own them and you can watch them at your leisure. Of course, you need like a player for these discs, but yes, it's very fun to own your own physical media so you can own these films. 6 is share your passion with others. That can be online or in person. It can be just simply commenting, being like, oh, I love this film, or talking to someone in your class about films. You don't need to do this, obviously, but I think a big part of being a film nerd or like a cinephile, whatever you want to call it, is sharing this and talking about films and discussing them. It helps you yourself learn more about films, and yeah, film is an art. Of course, I've mentioned this many times. Film is an art, it's subjective, and everyone has their own opinions, so if you kind of share your opinions with others and listen to theirs, it will be really insightful. And last but not least is kind of in a way counteracting the last point. Listen to what others say, but take everything with a pinch of salt. Now, it's great to listen to the critics of your favourite films and see what they have to say, but that doesn't mean you have to like fully change your opinion about a film. If you enjoyed it, that's fine. Listen to what they say and take on some points and get a better understanding, but it doesn't mean you have to then dislike the film because other people don't like it. So yeah, always take it with a pinch of salt and don't let others' opinions sway yours too much, because you are valid in liking a film or disliking it. But my biggest kind of conclusion that I want to come to is, what is my Letterboxd top 4? Here it goes. My Letterboxd top 4, which is subject to change at any time, of course. My Letterboxd top 4 is... First of all, in no particular order, we've got Roman Holiday, of course. Probably my favourite movie from this whole process. I really adore this movie. It's beautiful. Number 2, we have got Barbie. This was one of my favourite movies going into this process because of the whole experience. So it has great memories for me, and yeah, it's something I can rewatch at any time and still enjoy. Number 4, we have 12 Angry Men, of course. 12 Angry Men is so well made. It's so poignant. It's so emotional, and it's like top 5 in the IMDb top 250 list. So yeah, it's got to be up there in my top 4. Last but not least is Little Miss Sunshine. So that is my Letterboxd top 4. There's so many other films that I could include in it, but I just came to a conclusion that those were my top 4. Honourable mentions would include like Train to Busan, one of my favourite Korean movies, and also like Dead Poets Society, also La La Land. That is one of my favourite movies. But ultimately my top 4 are kind of like my favourite movies that I would kind of rewatch a lot and always enjoy them. What do you think it is to actually be like one of those, be like a cinephile? Like, what does it mean?
I was taught about it was very academic. So when you talk about it in an academic way, being a cinephile has completely and entirely different meaning to what it means to me personally. It means, in an academic sense, to be someone who is immersed in film in every single way to the point of knowing the different theories and practices, whether it's like practices in the practical sense of what goes on behind a camera in like the physical, tangible way, or it's what goes on in front of the camera, whether it's like placement, blocking, knowing those terminologies. But I think it also, from the academic sense, is reading it as a form of literature. So the same way you'd be sitting in like an English class and saying, okay, this is what this symbolism means and this is what that means. It is then applied to film as a visual and artistic medium. But to me personally, I would say that being a cinephile is just being able to immerse yourself in film in a way that you enjoy, in a means something to you personally.
So I agree. But I also think there's a big so I think recently there's a social media like pressure in a
Mm-hmm.
way to be seen as like the perfect cinephile, or you have people going to the cinema watching every film, especially during the Oscar season. And I think that there's a real pressure for people to watch a film every day, or like, there's like it feels like there's a boundary that people should be following. And I think it can definitely be felt within film communities as well. Like, you follow all these people on Letterboxd and you see they've already watched like 100 films this year. But for me, I don't see it by a number. I just see it by the feeling that you have. And like, if you are committed to watching films and you really enjoy watching films, then I think you're a cinephile. Because I had to, there was a time where, I loved film, but I wasn't even watching many films at all. So I made the commitment to like watch more so I could feel like a bit more qualified. But yeah.
No, I completely agree with that as well. I think that like yeah, you'll meet people, especially like the film bros, who will be like, "How do you not know this film? Like, why do you not know this film?" And it's like, yes, I love film, but I love film in my capacity of loving film, and it means the world to me. And that is such a subjective thing as well. Like, number one, not everybody has the time in the day to be like, let's watch this and this and this and this, you know? Like, we all live very, very busy lives. And then on top of that, like, not everyone has the same interest. Like you might like Goodfellas, I don't, just things like that. So it's what matters to you and why it matters to you that makes you a cinephile, I guess.
The most important question I have to answer is, have I become a film nerd? I definitely believe that I now have the passion. It's become a lot stronger and I love watching films even more, and I've been watching a lot of films. But the knowledge I feel like is still lacking a bit. I
I
have
would
widened my horizons, but certain aspects like the history of film I still don't know much about. I don't know much about the theory. I still need to kind of learn more about like different technical aspects of filmmaking. So there's still a long way to go. But I'm really like interested in actually like understanding more, and that is a great thing. Is I want to learn more, and I have that desire to learn more about film. So yeah, I think I've become a film nerd. I am at least like a baby film nerd. I'm on my way there, so it's been a very enjoyable process and I might do it again. Yeah, I have come a long way. I'm proud of myself. I've watched films I probably wouldn't have wanted to before. So that is definitely something, and I would definitely recommend trying something like this, even if it's like in a week, watching a film every day and maybe uh, just reading about those films that you watch and trying to understand them better. But yes, it was a great experience and I really enjoyed it. And I will see you next time in the next challenge that I set myself or the next film that I talk about.